Let's look ahead to Saturday in the NBA. There are 5 games on. There's early games. We're going to stream. This might be what we need to do to get into the playoffs. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I don't call hot dogs glizzies, I call them meat pipes. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter as always at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That is $150 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We are available on all platforms. Go and hit the thumbs up, bell, subscribe, comments, double bang, single bang, triple bang, all the bangs. Go and watch the audio, listen to the video, or do the reverse of that, whatever one makes more sense, because those verbs did obviously not make sense when I put those together. But that's okay, because we're here to look at Saturday across the NBA. There are 5 games on, and like I mentioned, one of them is early. Well, that's not true. 2 of them are early. It's a weird time of day. We've got a 3 p.m. Eastern game. We have a 5 p.m. Eastern game. We have no 7 p.m. games. We've got an 8 p.m. game, an 8:30 p.m. game, and a 9 p.m. game. Weird day. So there's 5 games on only, and one of them is going to be an absolute barn burner. Oh, what an absolute disgrace one of those games are going to be, but that's okay. As the kids say, we move. And we move straight into that early game, the 3 p.m. Eastern game. Actually, I don't know if I flashed that up again. Saturday, 2nd of March is what we're looking at. The first game is a game that we just saw. It is Atlanta. It's Brooklyn. We're in Brooklyn. And let's pay attention to what we're looking at. Now, when I'm looking at the schedule, if you're on video, I put the schedule up at the top of the screen. I'm not going to put up that these guys play on Saturday because we know they play on Saturday. That's what we're talking about. And there's only one team that actually does play on Sunday out of these guys. So the schedule that's up the top there is for next week. That is next week's schedule to get you ahead of it, which is week 19, which might be, and if you're in Locked On Fantasy Basketball Bowl, that is your first week of playoffs. So the Hawks next week go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And the Nets, of course, have got the 5-game big boy. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. They've got the 5 games the next week. In terms of who's out, Trae Young's out and Onyeka Okongwu is out. We don't know about Ben Simmons and we don't know about Cam Thomas. It was a little surprising that Simmons missed the last game, considering he came back from the injury on Monday and then sat out Tuesday on the back-to-back, but a little surprising, so he's in doubt. Thomas, they've given us no update, but his absence changes everything. So does Simmons, actually, but having Thomas out means there's shots to go around to other people who aren't singularly focused on jacking up hezzy, mid-range, pull-up twos. That means Cam Johnson jumps up. It means Dennis Schroeder jumps up. It means we get minutes for newly converted Jalen Wilson as well, but we just don't know at this point. Sadiq Bey for the Hawks is who I want to watch. He continues to be the absolute definition of mid, but there is still that role there. There's 30 minutes as a starter. He's totally okay to roster and totally okay to jack. It's just the frustrations for him always are there. For the Nets, it is Cam Johnson that I want to pay attention to. Now, I do think that having Cam on your team, especially for next week, is good. Whether he sits those games or any of those games, I've got no idea. And what I do want to see with Cam Johnson is, A, do they start him even if Cam Thomas returns? Because he only moved back into the starting lineup with Thomas out. And then do they put Dorian Finney-Smith to the bench? How do they run that rotation? Because I don't know. Look, 20 minutes a night of Cam is nowhere near enough. 28 probably is, without Cam Thomas jacking up every shot. So that is important to note. In terms of stream guys for the Hawks, Bruno Fernando is the backup center. Kobe Buffkin's also an option there. He's getting 18 to 20 minutes a night and looking pretty solid. More of a deeper league guy, though. And then Day'Ron Sharpe is, now he's hitting threes, apparently. He's a very good per-minute player. Nick Claxton is really struggling. I like Sharpe as a pickup for next week. I obviously like Dennis Schroeder as well, given the doubts on Simmons and Thomas and the 5 games next week. The next matchup. It's the Utah Jazz. It's the Miami Heat. It's the Dwayne Wade Bowl. The Jazz only play 3 games next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. The Heat go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday next week. I don't know why I wrote Walker Kessler's out. He's not. Apologies for that. Walker Kessler is still questionable. We don't have an update on that, so I don't know why I wrote that he's out. Walker Kessler is questionable for the game on Saturday. He might be out. He missed the last one. Tyler Hero remains questionable. Missed the last few with that knee issue. Kevin Love was ill last game. I'm going to mark him questionable. And Josh Richardson is out with that shoulder issue. I want to see what the man on the street can do for the Jazz. JORDAN-CLARKSON. Jordan Clarkson, big assist last game. Horrid shooting. The minutes are still very high, though. And that's always going to at least put him on your radar. Now, it's not going to work for every team because he does have bad shooting. But the ability to score in bulk and get some assists is useful. In terms of the Heat, I want to see Duncan Robinson. Now, if Hero is out, I'm very much locked in on Robinson. If Hero is in, before those injuries, Robinson was playing 21 minutes a night and was nowhere near viable enough. He went from playing more minutes than like Jaime Jaquez and Caleb Martin to when Hero plays, he plays fewer minutes than those guys. Those guys stay similar, Martin and Jaquez in that 25-27 range, and Robinson goes from 32 to 21. If you go down to 21 minutes, then you're not a 12-team league player. So that's what we want to see. For the Jazz, Keyonte George is getting so many opportunities, which is great. He's delivering most of the time, and he just needs to be on rosters, but he's still available in over 50% of leagues. And then Duncan Robinson probably is the stream for the Heat, although that will reduce if we do have Tyler Hero returning to action in this one. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That is $150 if your bet wins. Bet on all of your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, futures. Do you think that Wemby's going to win Rookie of the Year? I think the odds of that are basically unbettable at the moment, but maybe he can win Defensive Player of the Year. You can look at the MVP. Is it Jokic? Is it Shea? Is it Doncic? Is it Giannis? All the odds are over there on FanDuel. So go to FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. And don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay, it's 2 games down. Let's go to the next one. It is just whatever this is. Portland and Memphis. Now, they're playing against each other on Friday. They're also playing against each other on Saturday. What do I do with this? Let's first of all look at the schedule next week. The Blazers go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. The Grizzlies go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Deandre Ayton is doubtful for Friday. I am going to be doubting that he plays on Saturday as well, but I don't know that. I do know that Brogdon will be out and Scoot Henderson will be out. And as for the Grizzlies, well, I don't know. Like I can't have any. I could put 10 guys on this list because we know they're the Memphis question marks, and the unknowns about them are absolutely sky high. What we know at the moment is Jaren Jackson is out on Friday. We know John Conchar is doubtful on Friday. We know G.G. Jackson is questionable on Friday. We know Derrick Rose is out on Friday. We know that Desmond Bane is out. Marcus Smart is out. Now, they're going to be out Saturday too. Luke Kennard is doubtful for Friday. I don't know whether he plays on Saturday or not. Scottie Pippen is out. But all of these things have so many trickle-down effects because Trey Jemison and Jordan Goodwin are probably going to start on Friday. But if Kennard and Jaren Jackson play on Saturday, then these guys will play 0 minutes. If G.G. Jackson's out, does that mean that we get Lamar Stevens in a big role? Or does Yuta Watanabe get in there? Or does some bloke by the name of Matthew Hurt play? Honestly, it's almost impossible to judge a Grizzlies team on a back-to-back. It's impossible. I think Jaren probably does return. So if you're streaming Trey Jemison for Friday, I think he'll be useless on Saturday. I think Kennard probably does play on Saturday as well, meaning Jordan Goodwin will get a 0. But I don't know. I don't. In terms of streams, Matisse Thybulle could be all right there for Portland. I think you obviously I put Duop Reath there. I put Thybulle there because I feel more confident in his minutes because I don't know whether Ayton will play. But if I'm going to assume that Ayton does not play, then Duop Reath is the stream there. Then it would be Thybulle. Then it would be Kamara that comes after that. And then Jabari Walker as well. For the Grizzlies, I put Zaire Williams there because probably the player I have the most confidence that he actually plays and is going to be available. But maybe they chuck a doubtful on him on Saturday. And then G.G. Jackson's in there. Maybe we do have Jaren and Kennard out again, so it is Jemison and Goodwin in that spot. You just got to play it by ear. And even whatever happens Friday is no real indication of what happens Saturday either for Memphis. It's all going to be about who they sit and who is in or out versus who you can stream. And like we've said, for at least 3 weeks, it's going to be like this all season. Guys that step up, Aldama, Lamar Stevens, Goodwin, Jemison, GG, whoever it is, you're not going to have any reliability on these players. And I think this is... and I don't think this is the end of the season for Jaren. I think he is coming back. I think he'd like to hit that 65 games and be eligible for defensive all-defense team. Not sure he's going to get it. He probably could. But after that, I think he's going to be pretty much cooked. That would be my guess. Denver, they're going to take on the Lakers. The schedule for these teams, Nuggets 3 games next week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. The Lakers have 4, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Injury-wise, I don't think that Jamal Murray is going to play. They said about the headmaster who sprained his ankle last game, he's going to move, he's going to travel to, he's going to travel to LA. They'll see how it goes. If there's any doubt he won't play, that means he won't play to me. And then maybe he's back for the next one against Phoenix, which is on Tuesday. Christian Wood will be out. Gabe Vincent will be out. Jared Vanderbilt will be out. Cam Reddish only played 4 minutes last game because he was experiencing ankle soreness, so don't know whether he's going to play. And I've got no doubt that both LeBron and Anthony Davis will appear on this injury report at some point, and I've got no doubt that they will play. So I'm not going to include them here. For the Nuggets, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is playing well, and if Murray is out, KCP's value goes up in terms of just more shot attempts, so that puts him firmly on our radar, so let's watch that. And then for the Lakers, Rui Hachimura, just getting the minutes consistently. The production, well, it's Rui Hachimura level, and you know what that means. Some days it'll be 17 points on 60% shooting. Others, it's 8 points on 3 shots. Well, actually, 3 shots is pretty efficient, so 8 points on 5 shots. And you can't use it. It's just all over the shop. He still remains, Rui, the best stream option on the Lakers. While for the Nuggets, it's got to be Reggie Jackson. Even if his fantasy game is not particularly robust, I think there is 30-plus minutes coming for him here in a spot start in place of the headmaster, Jamal Murray. The last game of the day is another game that we just saw. So of the 5 games that are on Saturday, we just saw Atlanta-Brooklyn on Thursday. We just saw Portland-Memphis on Friday. They're back-to-backing. And we just saw Houston-Phoenix on Thursday. 3 out of 5 games are matchups from 2 days ago max. Crazy. Houston plays 4 games next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. The Phoenix Suns are the only team with the Saturday-Sunday back-to-back. We talked about how bad their schedule was this week to begin the week with no games until Thursday, and then they went 3 games in 4 to end it. So they go Saturday-Sunday, then they play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday next week. Tari next season is out. Bradley Beal's upgraded to probable. Now, does that mean that he plays Saturday and sits Sunday? I think probably yes. Eric Gordon is officially questionable. I had Nasir Little there as questionable, but he is doubtful. It doesn't matter. He doesn't play. And Damian Lee remains out. For the Rockets, Jollibee Jalen Green was awesome last game. Haven't said that too often about him, but he was, so I've got to give him credit when he was good. What that means moving forward is what we need to find out. Do we just get back to big minutes of Jalen, completely nuking Amen Thompson? Were Jalen Green's minutes that high exclusively because he played well? Or was it because Amen Thompson had 3 fouls in 6 minutes or whatever it was? So which one of those is true? Or is it neither? That's what we want to find out. For the Suns, Bol. I want to see what Bol does. Now, Bol last game played minutes. Wasn't very good, but he did play minutes. And now we've got Beal back and maybe Gordon back. How do they use him 26 a night still? I highly doubt they do it. And I don't think he's going to be a must-roster 12-team league guy. But if you do have Bol, you just hold through the weekend back-to-back. But watching what happens for him here is very interesting. Especially considering if Beal does play, which it looks like he will, I think he'll sit on Sunday. The streams for Houston, it is probably Amen Thompson. His roster numbers have dropped, rightfully so, because he barely played. And at the moment, he's back into a non-usable every night bench role for the Rockets. So that's okay. You move on from him. You can stream him in, absolutely. And at some point, I hope they give him minutes, but I don't think it's happening any point soon. And the last one, and the Suns guy is Bol, obviously, that we take a look at. It could be Royce O'Neal, but Bol has a better per-minute game, and O'Neal is going to lose down from the 37 minutes he was playing. With Beal coming back, he's not playing 37 minutes, and with Gordon there, he won't play 37 minutes either. But if you do have Royce O'Neal on your team, you hold him again because there's going to be, I would say, Beal sitting, and probably Gordon sitting one of the 2 games across the weekend. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. It's the easiest and the most exciting way to play DFS as well. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than on between 2 to 6 individual player stat projections, and then sit back and watch the winnings roll in, because now it is demon time on PrizePicks. You can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Demons and Goblins are the newest and most exciting way to play at PrizePicks. Squares marked with red demons or green goblins get you different payouts. You can now win 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. PrizePicks is really simple to play. You make your picks, you submit your entries in less than 60 seconds. So go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use the code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. That is prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. The code is LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, pick more, pick less. It is that easy. Okay, so that is the 5 games done. The only back-to-back is Phoenix, so you're looking at Royce O'Neal, Bol Bol in that scenario, Drew Eubanks, and then you get really desperate, you might look at Josh Okogie. But in terms of chunks, Saturday through to Wednesday, all of these games are quality game days. And it is worth mentioning that I did say this when during the All-Star break we did the playoff preview show, is that every game from here on out until March the 24th, every single day is a quality game day. There is this is awesome, by the way, no single NBA game day from here on out, since Tuesday, basically, last week. Every single game has 9 or fewer games. Every day has 9 or fewer games. So you can stream every single day for the next 3+ weeks. Once you get past the 24th, then the schedule turns into a disaster where you've got 12s and 1s and 15s and 0s. But for the next 3+ weeks until March the 24th, every single game day is a streamable game day. So our streaming shows are going to go hard, and you are going to have to pay extreme attention into maximizing your games played, because you can't just go, well, there's only 2 days to stream, so I'll just add on those days. To get the most games in your playoffs, you need to conserve ads, more games per ad. That's what you need to do, because every single game day is streamable for the next 3 weeks plus. Got it? Cool. So chunky up. Who's got 3 quality games over the next 5 days? It's your Orlando Magic. So Jalen Suggs goes Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Keyonte George and the Jazz, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. Cole Anthony's on there with the Magic. You could throw Mo Wagner there as well. Taylor Hendricks and the Jazz, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. Hendricks is real close to being a 12-team league guy. He's a definite 14-team league guy. And when we're talking schedule boosts, 3 games, 5 nights, Hendricks, available everywhere. That's almost enough, yeah? That's almost enough. I put Jakaris LeVert on here because, A, he's been awesome. They've got 3 games in 5 nights, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The problem here with LeVert is he's popped up as questionable on Friday with a shoulder issue. And if he misses time, well, you don't get 3 games in 5 nights, do you? So that's why you've got a question mark there. And then Bol Bol, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. The 3 games in 5 nights there for the Suns. Remember, it's hard when you talk quick. Remember, all of the games are quality game days. Who's got 5 games in 8 nights coming up, starting on Saturday through to Saturday? Obviously, the Brooklyn Nets, who've got a 5-game week, but the Suns and the Blazers are also a little bit overloaded here. So if you're looking for longer sort of action, of you're really minimizing your ads, or you try and find any sort of value in Portland, maybe Duop Reath, but again, who knows whether Ayton's in or out. And for the Suns, it's probably Royce O'Neal and Bol Bol as the guys that we've got to pay attention to there. Streams of the day. 10-teamer, I am looking at Keyonte George. He just needs to be rostered. Your 12-teamer is Duop Reath. That's with my assumption that Ayton does not play, though. 14-team, I'm going to go with Thibault because his minutes I feel okay about. 16-team, I've got Reggie Jackson, but I could easily push Reggie Jackson to 14-teamers if I knew that Jamal was out. And he's probably got way higher upside than Thibault as well. For your Yahoo points streamer, it is Keyonte George. And your ESPN points streamer, it is also Keyonte George. 10-team streams, we are starting with Keyonte George, followed by Duop Reath. I've got GG Jackson in there, but I don't know that he's going to play. Matisse Thybulle, DeAndre Hunter, and Day'Ron Sharpe. For 12-teamers, Reggie Jackson's there. I've got Jordan Goodwin, but I don't know. I honestly no idea whether he even plays. I could throw Trey Jemison in there as well, but no idea if he plays. Amen Thompson, Bol Bol, Tamani Kamara, and Dylan Brooks. Helpful for those smaller volume defensive type stats. For deeper leagues, I've got Zaire Williams, I've got Taylor Hendricks on there, Santi Aldama, Royce O'Neal, Caleb Martin, and Cam Whitmore. O'Neal's value would jump if Eric Gordon is ruled out. So be aware of that he'd move into that 12-team zone. But there's so many of these guys that sort of sit with very similar value for Saturday with only 5 games on, that any of these guys that sit on this deep category stream list could easily be substituted for a lot of those guys on the 12-team stream list. And even some of the guys on the 10-team stream list could be substituted through as well. They're all really, really close to each other on this game day. It's not as stark as it has been for other ones. And lastly, if we're looking at streaming in points leagues, we do go to Keyonte George, Duop Reath, GG Jackson, of course, if he plays, which we don't know, Reggie Jackson, Jordan Goodwin, if he plays, and Dayron Sharp. But quite a few interesting stream options are going to be afforded to us on Saturday with just the 5 games on. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Don't forget to jump in here, thumb it up, ring a bell, leave a comment, and of course, you got to subscribe. And if you double bang it, well, you're one of the best blokes in the world, or best Sheilas, whichever one suits you. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for watching and for listening, everyone. See ya.